Good morning everyone. Welcome to my class, and this is class 8 section A boys wing, and I welcome you all to the class of English second paper. And today our topic is sentence transformation, and you know that is in our last class we also discussed sentence transformation. Here we mainly discuss sentence transformation basing on meaning. Already we completed this one, okay? And also another item is here, that is voice change. For voice change, in our last couple of classes I discussed the rules of tenses and also the structure, and I asked you to just memorize them, and I believe all of you are quite okay with the structure of tenses. So if you are okay with the structure of tenses, I believe learning the voice change of your assertive sentence will be a matter of only 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, let's see. Basing on the structure of tenses, we will learn today the voice change, rule of voice change of our assertive sentence. For this, we will just apply the 5 rules here. Okay, I have already written on the board. Let's see what is the first one. First one is telling use the object as subject. Second one is telling use a be verb or an auxiliary verb. Third one is telling always use the past participle form of the verb. Okay, here one thing is that is in our 12 structure of tenses we see there is few cases like present indefinite and future indefinite. There we use the verb based form, and for all the continuous tenses and perfect continuous tenses we use verb plus ing like present participle, and for perfect tenses like present perfect, past perfect or future perfect, there we use past participle form. But in your voice change we should always use the past participle form of verb. Okay, and number 4 is telling that we should use a preposition. Okay, and number 5 is telling that we should use the subject as object. So first one is use the object as subject. Second one is telling use a be verb. Third one is telling always use the past participle form of the verb, and fourth one is telling use a preposition. Fifth one is telling use the subject as object. So if you just remember these 5 rules and apply them, it will be very easy for you to answer the voice change of all the assertive sentences. Whenever I just ask anyone to answer the voice change of a particular one sentence, almost all can answer easily. That is, I eat rice, the very simplest sentence of voice change. I eat rice. I know that is all of you can tell the answer even without remembering the rules. All can answer this one, that is rice is eaten by me. Okay, so I have written this answer, rice is eaten by me, but in my answer how these 5 rules are included here we will notice. First was first one was use the object as subject. So I eat rice, here my object was rice, so I have used rice as subject. Use a be verb, so I have used here is. Always use the past participle form of verb, so I have used here eaten. Use a preposition, I have used here by. And the last one is telling use the subject as object, so I have used I here as an object like me, so I am getting my answer, rice is eaten by me. It's very simple. Okay, but here you need to apply one knowledge you need to apply your knowledge of tenses carefully in case of number 2, use a be verb. What's that? The thing is that at first you should find out the tense of your question. Okay, at first you should find out the tense of your question and understand in which tense it is written. Then you will take the be verb from its next tense. Say for an example, whatever I have written here, I eat rice. Okay, so this one you can easily understand. So this one is an example of present indefinite tense. So what is the next tense? So next tense is present continuous. Okay, so what's the be verb? What are the be verbs of present continuous? Am, is, are. That's why you have written here is. I'm giving you another example. So Runa has written a letter. Here Runa has written a letter. So according to the first one, a letter is our object here, isn't it? That's good. Now I'm answering my question. Runa has written a letter. The first one is use the object as subject. So a letter should be used as subject. So I'm writing here a letter. Then the main thing is that use a be verb. I'm thinking on in which tense it is written. I see this one has been written in present perfect tense. So what is the next tense? Next tense is present perfect continuous tense. So what are the be verbs of present perfect continuous tenses? Present perfect continuous tense is have been or has been. That's why I should use have been or has been. So a letter, since this is third person singular number, that's why I should write has been. Has been. Then always use the past participle form of the verb. So past participle form of the verb right should be written here, and it is already written in past participle form. That's why I am using that one. W-R-I-T-T-E-N, written. So I'm using a preposition by, and the subject should be used as object. So I am writing here Runa. So I am getting my answer. The question is Runa has written a letter. My answer is a letter has been written by Runa. Here one thing you need to remember. For continuous tenses like present continuous, past continuous and future continuous, what are the next tenses? Present perfect, past perfect, future perfect. But remember one thing, for continuous tenses we should not take the be verb from next tense. Rather we will use being. We will use being, B-E-I-N-G. We will use being with its own be verb. Say for an example, he is playing football. So at first, regarding the be verb, since this is a sentence of present continuous tense, so we should not take the be verb from next tense. Rather we will use the being with its own be verb. So what are the auxiliary verbs of present continuous? Am, is, are. So I should write am being, is being, or are being. So according to steps I am answering my question. What? The first one, object should be subject. So football is being played, then by him. By this we can answer all the voice changes of our assertive sentence, just remembering the 5 rules. I hope you have understood this one, and it will be very easy for you to answer all the voice changes of assertive sentences if you can just remember the structure of tense and the 5 rules. So in our next class we will discuss the voice change of interrogative sentences. Thank you everyone.